Hey, where we go? We're on live. Wait, we need title slide.
Oh, that oh boy. Oh, good.
And now. Hey, everybody, boys and girls, moms and dads, welcome to the Kidders. My name is Dale, and with me, as always, is my good friend from Indiana, Mr. Tim Slagle. Good morning, Tim.
It's the day after Labor Day, and if you know the rule, you're not supposed to wear white shoes after Labor Day, 1961.
And even though it is the day after Labor Day, attired in her Hawaiian shirt is Terry O'Brien. Hi, Terry.
Hi, I can't give up the ghost of summer, and I'm trying to cheer myself up because you guys know I have a talk show, and I have to talk a lot about politics, and I have to watch a lot what's going on, like, you know, Donald Trump, and he's so cruel. He's so cruel to Jeb Bush. You know, he keeps calling him low energy and all that, and, you know, I think it's mean to say that about a guy trying to run for president in the middle of an 8-year coma. I think
it's Bush just yawned at that remark anyhow.
He needs like a Red Bull drip, I'm thinking.
And really, don't we all? Oh, man, I didn't even think about doing that. All right, we've got some stories that we've combed from the news. They're probably stories that the rest of you have not heard yet. The first one is in Anchorage, Alaska. There, cops were looking for a guy by the name of Joshua Watford. He was wanted for driving under the influence, and he failed to show up in court, so they were looking for him. Well, they found him, and they handcuffed. He was with his wife at the time. They handcuffed him, put him in the back of the police car, at which point somebody came up and started talking to the policeman, distracted his attention, so his wife jumped in the car, in the police car, and took off down the road. And they found the car later, found the handcuffs in the car, and eventually, just this week, captured the guy and his wife. What do you think about it? You know, I've heard of Stand By Your Man, but that's really taking it to an extreme.
Well, actually, it wasn't. He wasn't that he didn't show up to court. He didn't show up to his drunk driving classes. In Alaska, drunk driving is obviously a degreed profession.
This is like an episode of Andy Griffith's Show meets Northern Exposure, right? It's like this cop. It's like, all right, let me just get out and have a conversation while I've got this suspect in the back seat. Hey, wait a minute! You know, what just happened? I mean, this should be a television show.
It does seem very Barney-esque now that you say it. Yes, very much so.
The amazing thing to me was that she actually managed to get the patrol car all the way home without turning on the lights and siren. I don't know if I could resist that urge.
And this happened in Wasilla, Alaska, which is where Ms. Palin used to be the mayor of Wasilla. So thank God this didn't happen on her watch, or she'd be a laughingstock. All right, speaking of laughingstocks, here's a guy in Boston.
Oh boy, this is my story.
He has not taken a shower in 12 years. He goes to MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so that tells you a lot. He's an engineer. Hasn't showered in 12 years. Instead, he's developed these live bacteria that he just sprays on himself, and they now sell this stuff called Mother Dirt. And you spray it on yourself twice a day, and you don't have to take a shower.
Yeah. Like hippies need more dirt. You know, this guy says in the story, no one did clinical trials on people taking showers every day. Did anybody do clinical trials on some jackass with industrial strength BO? Because if not, I think this guy should start that. He should volunteer for that.
I believe those trials were done in France.
Now see, you're swerving into what I was going to say. If this guy doesn't want to take showers, he should just move to France. I'm sure he'd be a chick magnet with all the women with the hairy armpits. They can, you know, it's perfect.
Actually, I think that every faculty has at least one professor that refuses to shower. I think MIT made up the story about the spray just to cover for him.
Well, they say it's called Mother Dirt. It's also known by its trade name, Axe body strange.
If you guys could see the picture of this guy, he looks like a cross between, is it Ben, who's the fat one in Ben and Jerry's? It looks like the cross between that and something you'd find digging around in a compost pile, which frankly I think he probably does as well, which he should do instead of just wasting money on this dirt spray.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry, which one is the fat one, right, Terry? That's like saying the fat Kardashian.
Okay. All right. Well, that's from there. Let's go to West Point. And West Point, the cadets there were getting at their end of the season training, and traditionally they have a pillow fight. It's a big, wacky, fun thing that cadets do. This year, some of the guys would put stuff in their pillowcases, heavy stuff like helmets and body armor, and then go to the pillow fight, and they were knocking people out. I wish I knew about this when I had pillow fights with my sisters.
They're teaching them to fight with pillows? Boy, those military budget cuts are out of control.
That was my first thought as well. You know, I kept picturing the scene in Animal House, but apparently this is a lot different from that.
Well, you know, and this apparently is a tradition. They've been doing this for years, and even all of the people in charge said, "Hey, it's no big deal. A couple people get hurt." So they're shipping them all to Afghanistan right now with pillows.
With their pillows, yeah.
So Terry, Animal House is the only movie that you can think of that has a pillow fight in it? We must have a different Netflix watch list.
I can name a lot online. They're not on Netflix.
This is why I say I was brought here to provide needed adult supervision.
Come on, tell me you haven't had one of those girl pulling in your jammies pillow fights. Come on, pulling on each other's hair.
I'm not saying.
And then you put something heavy in the pillow and somebody turns it on, it starts buzzing.
Right up the side of the head. Yeah.
All right, we got one more story. This one's really kind of sad. In Columbus, Ohio, a family lost a loved one, and they took her body to the Smoot funeral services, which that should be a cue right off the bat. And they show up for the visitation, and the woman in the casket is not their loved one, but she is wearing their clothing. So they had the wrong woman in the box dressed in the other dead woman's clothes, and now this family is going to sue because, you know, it took them like 5 hours to get the right body in the right box wearing the right clothes.
Yeah, so I picture like this Smoot funeral services. First of all, what was this, like a Groupon or something that these people got? You know, this is weird. But I picture like one of those things like in the dry cleaner. You know, where they have those conveyors and everything's hanging like on the funeral. What do they do? Like take their trucks around all these different funeral homes? Like I said, it sounds like a
32.
I just
think. And what do you think of this, Tim?
Well, it's a good thing at least it was a woman. I mean, imagine the shock that would happen when they opened the other casket and Mr. Smith was laid out in a dress. It's
like the old story of this happening to a guy, and the family comes and says he's wearing the wrong suit. That man over there is wearing the suit that we brought into him. And the funeral director says, "Don't worry, I can have this fixed in just give me 10 minutes." So in 10 minutes, he has the right guy wearing the right suit. His assistant said, "How did you do that so fast?" He goes, "I switched heads." I love that joke. It's funeral home humor. All right, we got
Actually, I think that Smoot Funeral Homes could probably be sponsored by Mother Dirt.
I'm liking that.
You can smell like a dead guy with Mother Dirt. Well, speaking of smelling like a dead guy, we got the next GOP debate coming up next week, and who are you putting money on, Terry? Who do you think's going to come out of this thing?
Well, I just want to mention, I always live chat during these debates at terryobrien.com, so join me there if you want to hear my pithy remarks. It's going to be interesting to see what Donald Trump has to say. I heard that he has written a new book, and a guy went in to look for this book. He went into a Mexican bookstore to look for this book. Did you hear about this? And the customer said, I'm looking for Donald Trump's new book, about immigration. And the Mexican guy said, screw you and get the hell out of here. And the guy said, yeah, that's the one. Is it in paperback?
It's it's in Spanish is what I want to know, but yeah, who do you think's going to win, Tim?
I think, I don't know. I was trying to think of a joke to top Terry's, and I there's no way. So I think America will win. That's what I think. I think America will win.
Yes. Yay! 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 Yay!
And the jingoism runs rampant here on the Kidders. But yeah, I don't know who's going to win. I'm rooting for Carly Fiorina because I'd like to see her and Hillary Clinton mud wrestle for the prize. That would be the final thing.
I'd like to see Jeb Bush and Betty White arm wrestle, but Betty White would definitely win that one. I'm confident.
Wouldn't it be weird if Hillary takes Elizabeth Warren and Carly takes Lindsey Graham as running mate? It'd be the first time that 4 women actually were in the presidential election.
Nicely played, sir. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
I think it would actually be three women and a bitch. Well, that wraps it up for another week of hysterical frivolity, my friends. So, on behalf of myself and Tim and Terry, thank you for joining us. And you kids, say goodbye, please.
Goodbye, please.
Good night, Gracie. Don't forget the Terry O'Brien Show, terryobrien.com.
terryobrien.com. I'm going to comment, too, on that thing on the next debates. We're done.
Yay.